This week, I challenged myself to not grocery shop. I took a deep dive into my freezer and tried to make something actually good with what I had on hand. No list, no plan, just vibes and mystery sauce that we ended up finding. I ended up making a full week of meals using a bunch of random stuff I had frozen, and honestly, I surprised myself. Let me show you how it all came together. Welcome back to the table, everybody. I don't know if you can still hear it in my voice because it is incredible. It's absolutely incredible what some makeup, some Dayquil, and the will to live will do for you to get up off the sofa. Let me tell you, we are here because this week I have been out of the house for 4 days, almost 5 days, came back and got sick. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to show you all how to use your freezer to meal prep. Your freezer, your pantry are your best plans, are your best friends, because this is the thing that's going to keep you prepared and ready for these moments. I have not gone grocery shopping at all this week, and we are about to do a full week of meals, snacks, breakfast, everything, with almost everything that's in my fridge and freezer. One of the things that I always like to say is you don't need a recipe, you need a system. Having a system in your house is what's going to save you during the week, and that's what today's video is all about. So I'm going to show you what's in my freezer, what I already have in there, what we're going to make with it, and how I set myself up for success for this week. So that way we can just slap some stuff together today while I have some whatever this is, energy, and get some food ready for the rest of the week in case it starts to go downhill again. One of the first things that I think can really help you out during the week is 1, prepping a meat, and 2, prepping a carb. We're going to do multiples of, well, we're going to do 1 meat, 2 carbs. So the first thing, because this is going to take us the longest, is we're going to do focaccia bread. I'll share, I know I haven't ever done this, but I'll actually put like a good version of my janky focaccia bread recipe on Substack for you all. We're going to get her started. We gotta. What do we need first? 2.5 cups of water, warm water, so make sure she's warm. Am I using sink water? Mind your business. We're gonna put some of my janky honey in there. I've been using the heck out of this right now. 2 teaspoons and a packet of dry yeast. I just recently switched to like the jarred dried yeast rather than the packets, because the packets keep getting lost in the sauce of my pantry. But the reason we're making focaccia bread, any type of bread, is because it's really versatile and it gives you something to build meals around. We're also going to make rice. Rice is a lot healthier than bread most of the time, but I like making focaccia bread, 1, because it's pretty simple, and also because 1, our sourdough starter died. Oh, people, R.I.P. Pour one out for Becca. She lost her life. So sorry to her, but yeah, we don't have a sourdough starter anymore. But regardless, making focaccia bread is just so much faster because you don't need to do all the stretch and folds and let it go overnight. This will be ready by tonight. So that's a big W. But focaccia bread, just because of how it's shaped, I am going to use it 2 ways this week. So we're going to make like a big, it'll be like about a casserole dish size. And then we can use it, 1, for sandwiches, which I think people sleep on focaccia bread on sandwiches. We're also going to use it to make flatbreads, because this one's going to make a bread that's about this thick. So if you cut it in half, great for sandwiches, but if you cut it in half, you can also use both halves and kind of make a take on a flatbread. It's so good. So we're gonna let that sit for just a minute and get nice and frothy, and we'll measure out flour. And focaccia bread takes regular flour, not bread flour. 1, I have to count out loud or I'll forget. 2, do you see this little party that's happening in here? Can you see that? I just saw it moving and was like, what the heck? Oh my god, was that 2? I think that's 2. That looks like 2. 3. This is why I have to count out loud. 4. Okay. Praying that's fine. She was active. She was doing something. It spooked me. I know it's supposed to do that, but it's fascinating. Fermentation is the coolest. The coolest shindig. Okay, and then we're going to do 5 teaspoons of salt. So I'm actually just going to eyeball this with a tablespoon. If you didn't know, a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. Maybe a little extra. I don't want to make a big spoon dirty, so we are going to use this comically little spoon. That's how we roll in this kitchen. See the little foam we created on top? That's what we want. That's how we know. That's how you know. What is that from? I don't know. Okay. You see how I'm making like a little hole? That's only because this bowl is so not equipped to hold 5 cups of flour. But if you've been here before, the only other bowl bigger than this I have is like this massive metal bowl that's probably like the size of this counter. We call it Big Daddy. And no, make a little well, mix it in there. So I'm just gonna give this a good one last 1, 2, and in she goes. Wonderful. And hope for the best that this doesn't explode on us. Not explode, overflow. This is why I get out the dope. What is this thing called? I think it's called a bench scraper, but I literally never use it to clean off the counter. I always use it to fold bread. I was a little worried that it was too dry, which made me think I put in 6 cups of flour instead of 5. But it's feeling pretty good at this point, so I think we're okay. Obviously, at this point, you'll have known whether I messed up or not. Yep, that's looking good. She's nice and sticky. We are going to make sure the middle is not dry. Just make sure everything is nice and incorporated. Once it starts to get really sticky, that's how you know we're good. Like this. Oh yeah, she's good. Now, I'm gonna cover it with a moist paper towel so the top doesn't dry out. You can also cover it with cling film. Just make sure you oil it before you put it on, because this is gonna rise a lot. So you don't want the cling film to like stick to it. But we're gonna let it sit for 2 to 3 hours, and then we have to deflate it and let it rise again. So we're gonna come back after and deflate it, and while we wait that 2nd hour, we'll start prepping a bunch more of our food, because I gotta go on a client call, so it works out perfectly. We got a couple hours to kill. Just prep your dough. We'll come back. Okay, I'll see you then. We're back. It's been like an hour and a half, actually. You can see. Can you see she's poofy? She's poofy. She's getting there. She is risen. Oh, risen. Like the good Lord intended. I don't want to wait, so we're going to start prepping some other stuff just because, wow, the energy is flowing, mama. This is my pasta sauce. I freeze it. I forgot to label this one because I ran out of kitchen tape, so we have no idea what day she was made, but I know that she's pasta sauce and not chili, thank God. And we're going to do this up to make like a variety of like a spicy, almost like a take on a vodka sauce, but basically what I'm going to do is take this whole thing and then I'm going to add it into a lot of garlic and Parmesan cheese and some Calabrian chilies. That's what I'm going to use to make it spicy. And that way we can just zhuzh it up, make some pasta, put that in the fridge. Mama, that's good to go. You can reheat that anytime this week, and we've got fresh, delicious pasta. Almost like a spicy rigatoni, but I don't have rigatoni noodles. Use whatever you have. If you don't have rigatoni, whatever pasta shape floats your boat, use that. The other thing I need to prep is some rice. I want to do some type of bowl. We have lots of fresh veggies in here. We also have tilapia in the freezer. I like to keep like either salmon or tilapia, some type of thing in the freezer. That way you have an extra protein. You could sub tofu. So if we prep the rice, then one night we can zhuzh together whatever else we want, and we have a bowl option. Don't ask why the board's wet. It's none of your business. I'm going to do some onion and garlic. I got a little weirdo garlic clove here. I used up 2 things of fridge stock when I made the 6 soup yesterday. I'll put some footage of that in here so that way you can see the 6 soup and what I grabbed out of the freezer and did some prep for some things beforehand yesterday that I just wanted to show you really quick. Indeed, I am ill, but we're going to get some stuff out of the freezer to meal prep and to make some soup that cured this illness, made it go away, hopefully. So let's get in the freezer and pull out some stuff that we can start prepping now before I go to work, so that way when I come back, it's done. And this takes 10-20 minutes, maybe, not even. You can see she's full, okay? We don't play here. She's getting a little frosty, only because I have had the door open for so long. But the main things that I want to pull out are some stock that's in here somewhere to make soup. There's marinara sauce. I think the stock is down lower. And then a hunk of meat. I think I'm going to do pork, mainly because, oh, there's the stock. You see it all back in there? Wow, my finger looks so long. Okay. We're going to get one of these big ones. Come on. Yeah. This is what we need. Maybe let's get 2. I feel quite ill. I feel like we're going to need a lot. Lots of fruit. Fruit is great. There's beans. These are so good. I might get some of those out too and put some of those in the soup. Let's do that. Zucchini pie. This is so clutch. We're going to do, this is basic beans from Justine Cook's. Well, I don't actually know what Justine's last name is, but her book is called Justine Cooks. And this will become stuff. But you needed to see what was in here before I started pulling things out. Did your guys' freezer do that too? As you can see, I've become much better since then. But now I save all of my scraps in these things, in these stock bags. That's what I'll need to use to replenish all that stock that I used up yesterday to make the soup. I'm telling you, it's a big help in what's making me feel so good today. And there's still some left over, so Another great option for prepping for the week. Soup is not usually my go-to thing in the summertime, but when you need just like a hearty, healing soup, you get it done. I also prepped that pork in the Instant Pot. I just used the Instant Pot like a crock pot, a slow cooker. I just threw it in the afternoon, put it in there for about 6 hours, unseasoned, and then that way I can sort of adjust to whatever I want to use it for. So I put it in the soup. I could also add it on to the rice for when we decide to do bowls, if we want to do some type of Asian style bowl, a taco style bowl, a Mediterranean style bowl. It's really the world is your oyster type of vibe. Or let's say you want to add a little bit of extra protein to the pasta we make. You could throw some of that pork in there. I also have beef in the freezer that you saw. You could do that. If you're into chicken, you can do that too. I don't eat chicken, but live your life, poops. Do what's best for you. Diced onion. We're going to get our pan on about a medium-high heat with some olive oil, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and we're going to cook some of this down. I'm also going to add some cream to it because I did have cream that was not bad on hand. Is that normally the case in my house? No. I've been on this kick of trying to make homemade ice cream with the Big Chill, my vintage ice cream maker, and we made one. It was so thick. She's a little dense, if you will. How many cloves of garlic am I willing to grate? Probably like 6. I really want like garlicky flavor. We're going to keep these to the side just for the moment while because I want to put the onions in the pot so I can just slide them off. All right, onions going in. You see, like I said, swoosh. Do you have any anger problems? Peel garlic. They'll go away, if only for a moment. And I'm going to grate these in because I kind of want them to melt into the sauce. I don't want a chunk, possibly. So, ooh, I might smash that one a little too hard. Oh yeah, cracked her. Cracked her like the chiropractor. Oh, that one I did too hard too. I'm just so strong. Okay, I'm just letting those onions simmer. I'm not going to cook the garlic for too long because if you cook it for too long, that's how you end up with a bitter taste. And there's already a lot of flavor in my sauce. There's already a lot of basil and oregano and all that, so we're just going to really add salt and pepper to this. And then the last thing we have to do is chop up some of our Calabrian chilies. These are the ones that I get. I get them from our local Italian market. You can get the paste too. If you get the paste, just put probably like a tablespoon in if you want a good amount of spice. So I'm just basically going to do the equivalent of like a tablespoon of these. And I'm just going to chop them up back and forth like this till they basically form the equivalent of a paste. Perfect. I think these add a nice sweet and spicy moment. Just gonna get that in there to let it sizzle. This is like any other spicy food though, where if you get too close to it, beware of the fumes. Give it a stir. I got it on about medium-low heat now, and this is the point where I'm just gonna grate in my garlic cloves. These are the times when I wish you all had like smell vision, because this smells incredible. Notice how the onions are just caramelized? This is the point where I'm going to add in my sauce. And then we're just kind of going to let everything heat up because she is still very much frozen. So, because she is this giant frozen block, if you will, we're just going to be patient. We're going to push the mound around like a little, this looks like Squidward's house. Like a little pasta bikini bottom has formed. So we're going to crank the heat back up. And then once the heat's up and this kind of starts to come to a simmer again, we'll add the cream. Sauce is almost melted. We don't want to use that word, but you know what I mean. This is my Instant Pot. I recommend if you want to do any type of meal prep, if you want to get a system going for yourself, get an Instant Pot, because I am so pro appliance that is going to have multiple uses. And this bad boy has all the things. I use it like a rice cooker, a slow cooker, a pressure cooker, how it's intended to be used. Don't just buy this and do one thing with it. That feels insanely wasteful to me. But you do you, Pooks. I'm going to make some rice in this. I love doing that because the rice setting on this, 12 minutes, let it come down to temp. Usually, with all in all, for it to come up to pressure, come back down, usually it takes about 20 minutes. And we're going to make a bunch of rice. So that way we have it for, if we want to use it for a lunch, some type of bowl for dinner, but it's already ready in the fridge. And it might get a little dried out. That's okay. You just add a little water on it when you pop it in the microwave, fresh and good to go. Also, make sure to wash your rice before you put it in the Instant Pot. It will get gummy and that's icky. I'm also going to use this jasmine rice. I've done this with many different kinds of rice. I always do it for 12 minutes on the rice setting. It works every time. This is 2 cups of rinsed rice going in. And for how much water to add, I always just follow whatever the package instructions say. So this one says for 2 cups of rice, 3 cups of water. So that's what we're going to add in. Am I doing it with this half cup? This half dry cup? Yeah. Mind your business. I'm also going to do this unseasoned because that way when we actually make the meals, we can season it however we'd like. Sauce has come up to temp. Nice. It's nice and thickened up too. We're going to add in a little bit of cream here. I just want to bring the temp down so it's not bubbling so much. Like you can see, she's getting a little saucy with us, as she should, because she is sauce. We're also bringing up some water. I'm going to heavily salt this water because we are going to put our pasta in it. This is like the only pasta that I have currently in my house, so that's what we're going to use. Do I want to use tricolor? Not really, but she'll work. She'll work. All right, let's add in some cream here. Don't ask why I have a little bit in there because I wasn't sure if this cream was still good. So we did a little smell taste test out of that. Gotta taste to see if she needs salt. She doesn't. Dang, that's good. Oh, the other thing, our focaccia timer went off, so I beat the heck out of it, and now it's thinking about its life and deciding its decisions that it's made. And then we're gonna talk to it again in an hour, okay? While our pasta's coming up, our rice is getting done. That's pretty much everything that we have to get done today, right? And this is just stuff that has set me up for success for the week. Yeah, the bread's taken us a couple hours, but all in all, like actual time that we've spent doing stuff, I'd say we're in about a half hour. And I think that's really a game changer for the fact that I'm not gonna have to do much prep. All the rest of the meals for the week are gonna take me under 20 minutes to make. And that's a big W for me with meal prep for the week. So at this point, we can start putting stuff away. We just want to make sure that we're not putting stuff away when it's still hot, because that's how you get foodborne illness, and that's not very girly pop of you. So just make sure that before you put things away, you actually let them come down to room temp. Basically, I always say to the point where there's no condensation building up inside of the container when you close it. One of these containers I'm going to use for the rice. The other one I'm going to use for the pasta. And they're nice and big. They'll stack well and they'll be able to hold everything for the week. And you can see the rice came out really good. It's nice and fluffy. And we have plenty to make lunches, dinners, bowls, snacks, extra fried rice, whatever we need for the week. Then the last thing we had to do was finish this focaccia bread. Brought her over, added a little more olive oil, and poked the heck out of it. Really get in there. You can see all the bubbles forming. Oh, this is so satisfying. Once this is nice and dimpled, you can pop it in the oven. I bake mine at 450 for about 20 minutes. I know I need to clean my oven. We say this every time. Okay, it's fine. Then everything just can get packaged up, and I'll show you some of the things I did with it later this week. Look how gorgeous this came out. Oh my God. We cut a cross section just because who doesn't love warm bread later in the evening? And Mama, oh, she's gorge. The next day, literally the next day, I was so pumped that I had this bread ready to go, because this is exactly what I wanted to do with it, was make a sandwich. And let me tell you, I was thinking about this sandwich all day. Cut it in half, evenly, questionable, but good ratios at least. Did a little pesto on one side. You'll see the vision of where this is going relatively quickly. A little mayo, because in my world, every sandwich needs mayo. If you don't want it, just don't put it on. Easy. A little cheese moment. And then I did have to buy this prosciutto, okay? I didn't have this in the house. It was the only thing in this sandwich making process that wasn't in the house. Honestly, it kind of needed it. That's why I got it. Popped on a little lettuce that was already here. And my mixed good pickles that are so delicious. I did want to specifically dig out the banana peppers, but obviously I had to go for a little taste of the cucumber carrot moment. But adding a little zing, a little acid to cut through all this, oh man, this is exactly what I needed. Then, like a few days later, right? This is in the middle of the week. We still had stuff going. This is the pork that I prepped in the Instant Pot. Same thing with the rice. And the beans that we got out of the freezer that I also used in the soup. These beans are so good. And this was dry, so I poured some of the sauce on it before I heated it up. Easy. Just threw this together. Could pop everything right back in the fridge. Finished her off with some pickled red onions. And then I was like, this needs a little more color. So we sauced on some chopped green onion. And that was it. Another meal out of all of this. Remember in the beginning of this video when I said that I really surprised myself with what came of what was in this freezer? Truly, I think that this is the most successful I could have set myself up to be. All because I just keep things on hand, know what's in my freezer, and can throw stuff together in 30 minutes or so to really make some beautiful, nutritious meals for the week. And that's how you set yourself up for success for the week. Like I said, giving yourself a system instead of a recipe is really the key to success. Leaning into your freezer, leaning into your pantry, making sure you have good staples that will really last you is super important. And look at all this amazing food that we made with this. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you got a little bit out of this, and let me know what you're keeping in your freezer. What are the staples? What pantry staples are you using in meals? Or what other meal prep should I be making during the week? And we can always try out some new stuff together. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you at the table next time. Bye!